Hey, everybody, and welcome to Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. The bullpen hangs on for dear life in the end. Devin Williams closes it out in a 7-5 win over the Angels. Parts of that bullpen tried to give it away on Saturday night. We'll talk about that next here on Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. Great to have you join me here on a Saturday night, Sunday morning. We are Locked On Brewers. We are here for you every day on the Locked On Podcast Network. And always great when our team starts off like they do and off to a hot start this year. Let's hope we have a hot finish to the season as well. And the Brewers have won 3 in a row. They took down the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California Angels or whatever. They beat the Angels 7-5. And bullpen, yeah, they tried to give it away. We'll talk about that coming up here in a little bit. And we'll talk about Sunday's game and a few other good things that the Brewers are doing here. So if you're just joining us for first time, great to have you along. Check us out on YouTube if you're watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell there, and that's going to alert you every time that we drop an episode on Locked On Brewers. And the podcast, Spotify, you could find us on Google. You could find us on the Apple Podcasts or wherever. Just go to my Twitter account, Chuck Freeman. And when I drop an episode, I always mention every place on there that you can get an episode. So there's plenty of places to go to. Just love to have you around for the ride to the ballpark on Sunday or wherever you're, maybe Sunday night after the game. Sometimes people listen to these a couple of days afterwards. That's fine. Whenever you do, it's fine with me. Always great talking to the great Milwaukee Brewer fans. They are my favorite professional sports team. And like you, I'm dying for a World Series championship, but I love the way they're playing right now. Always hit us up on Twitter, Chuck Freeman. As I mentioned, Chuck Freeman, Freimund. There's comment sections down on YouTube. You can always write us a comment on there too. Always love hearing from you because, we love talking Brewer fans and, Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Every dayers out there. I hear from you. I run into you. I'll run into you in the ballpark on Sunday. And, this is what we are. We're a Brewers community talking Brewers baseball. And it's an honor for me to be presenting this to you guys on a daily basis. And you can catch every pitch of Brewers hometown broadcast on SiriusXM. On the SXM app, search Brewers. The Brewers play this afternoon, 1:10 against the Angels on SiriusXM. All right. Brewers took a 7-1 lead into this game behind Corbin Burnes. Feeling pretty comfortable. I think the key at this game when Jesse Winker hit a 2-run single off the bench, and that lead went from 4-1 to 6-1. Those proved to be very valuable runs for the Milwaukee Brewers because this bullpen, parts of this bullpen, guys who I've been telling you about all year long, who I'm worried about, almost gave this away. The sure-handed guys, they saved the day. Now, Corbin Burnes on the hill today, he bounced back from his subpar performance in his last outing. He went 6 innings, no earned runs, and he had 5 hits. He had 5 hits. 6 strong innings from Corbin. A little shaky in the first inning. Okay, two guys reached. Got Shohei to bounce into a double play, and then he got the final out without any runs and, went the next 5 innings. So I thought Corbin was great. That first inning could have been a disaster, but Shohei hitting that sharp double play ball to first base, and they got the 1-6-3 double play there. So, or was it 1-6-1? I don't know. It was the 3-6-1 double play. That's what it was, I believe. Doesn't matter. Double play ball on Shohei Ohtani. That seems like it was days ago. So the Brewers do carry a 6-1 lead going into this game late. Elvis Peguero comes in, 7th inning, no problem. 8th inning, he runs into all sorts of problems. 7-1 lead. He gives up a 2-run homer to Mike Trout. I'm thinking, oh boy, I am not feeling good at this point. Just a bad feeling with Elvis out there. And then 2 more guys reach. Please, and I put this tweet out there, Elvis needs to leave the building. And they brought in Strzelecki. And David has been just amazing all year long. Got the Brewers out of that mess with no further damage. So it's 7-3 going into the top of the 9th inning. Bryce Wilson on the hill. And he comes in to start the 9th inning, gives up a 2-run homer to Mike Trout. Oh boy. Okay. Brought in Devin Williams, and Devin Williams ended up getting the save. So you would think the game started at 7-1. You wouldn't have to go to Devin Williams, but a couple of other guys in this bullpen got chances. Peguero and Bryce Wilson did not do the job. Now, Bryce has been pretty good. So is Elvis. Okay. They're not high leverage guys, but you put him in a situation where you had a lead. I just thank God they didn't blow the lead. You got him out of there in plenty of time. Well, Peguero maybe one too many batters, but Strzelecki bailed you out. And then Bryce Wilson, who's been pitching pretty well out of the pen as of late, but a guy again who's I wouldn't trust. Okay, we know his history with the Pirates. So 2/3 of inning, 2 hits, gives up 2 runs. But Williams came on and got the save. Mike Trout, 2 homers in this game, as I mentioned. Shohei Ohtani, 3 hits. So Ohtani 3 hits, Trout 2 home runs, and you won the game. Now, my concern is the Angels are starting to heat up offensively toward the end of that game. Hopefully that's not a carryover to Sunday when the Brewers go for the sweep of this series. But Trout just crushed 2. And Ohtani had 3 hits. He had 1 on Friday night. Trout took an 0 on Friday night, but those boys both got the job done on Saturday. Craig Counsell got tossed in this game. The strike zone, Adam Beck, the home plate umpire, you're terrible. You're either trying to get fined, trying to get reprimanded, or something else is going on there because you were just awful behind the plate. Okay. Willy Adames, again, he had a strike called against him because he wasn't ready in the box. That stupid rule. I mean, it's going to cost the teams games this year. And I'm going to lose my mind if it costs the Brewers a game, especially in the postseason. But then Counsell came out and was arguing balls and strikes, and you're going to get tossed for that. But good for Counsell coming out there because Adam Beck, home plate umpire, you were just unbelievably terrible. And thank God you didn't cost the Brewers a game here because your strike zone was all over the map. Just inexcusable. Thank God the Brewers won the game, like I said, because the strike zone, I don't know where this guy learned how to be an home plate umpire, but no learning on the job at the major league level. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Locked On Brewers, brought to you by BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding because sometimes we don't know what we want or we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who could take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. BetterHelp, you can get to your potential with BetterHelp. Just visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB today to get 10% off your first month. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suitable to your schedule. Just fill out the brief questionnaire, get matched up with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB today. 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Yeah, I was getting hot at that home plate umpire. I was nice to him on the podcast here because I was losing my mind watching that game on TV tonight. The Brewers play the Angels in the wrap-up of the 3-game set. The wrap-up of this 9-game homestand, 1:10 on Sunday afternoon. Maybe some of you are driving to the ballpark, listening to this podcast. Catch every pitch of Brewers' hometown broadcast, Sirius XM, on the SXM app. Search Brewers. As always, I appreciate you everydayers out there. And, of course, tomorrow night we'll be dropping the podcast after the game, probably somewhere maybe about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow night, hopefully. May have a pop or two after the game tomorrow. We're sitting in the stands, 300 section. Sundays, of course, my favorite day to go with lousy weather this weekend. No better place to be in Milwaukee on a Sunday, especially when the weather's bad, than AmFam Field. Going to go out and get myself a couple of dogs right before first pitch. Going to go out to the ceiling experience, shed a couple of tears like I always do when I watch that 10-minute video, and, pull myself together for the Brewers and Angels in the three-game set. A couple of other notes. So Adrian Hauser in the dugout should be making his next. He 4 rehab starts at AAA. He's stretched out. He's increased his innings each outing out there. So he's ready to hopefully join the rotation very, very soon. The Brewers now 4-2 against left-handed pitching. They are coming into this game today. They were 27th in the league as far as batting average. They were batting .205 against left-handed starting pitchers this year. That's 27th in the league. And so far, the Brewers are 2-0 against lefties. They've handled them pretty well, and they'll handle another lefty on the Angels coming up on Sunday. Jose Suarez, who's not good, poor command, was reading in the Los Angeles newspapers that this guy's pitching for his job. Gave up 5 home runs in his last start last Monday against the lousy Oakland A's. Hopefully, the Brewers can jump on him. His ERA through like 4 starts is like 10. So Jose Suarez, we will hopefully jump on him and make his day miserable. Colin Ray, who after that initial first outing with the Brewers, each and every one of these last couple ones, there's been some flies in the ointment. But again, he's one of these guys you called up just trying to suck up some innings in the starting rotation. Just got to hopefully give him 5 solid innings and let the bullpen take over. And let's get the job done against these guys and go for the sweep. And hopefully I'll see you guys out there on Sunday. I'll be walking around the ballpark. Always great running into the fans. But yeah, what a win it was tonight. You know what? Let's get through the box score. I haven't got to the box score yet, but I always want to go to the box score each and every game before I check out of here. Christian Yelich against this left-handed pitching lineup. Yelich is still in the leadoff spot. He's 0 for 4. Willy Adames went 1 for 4, 3 Ks for Willie, and he got tossed. Bryce Trang came in and played shortstop with him. Did not get in the bat. William Contreras, DH tonight, went 1 for 3. Mike Brasso, again, not exactly your classic 4-hole guy on a championship level team, but he played third base and batted 4th tonight and went 0 for 2. Jesse Winker later pinch hit for him and had that big 2-run single and then was taken out. Blake Perkins came in and pinch ran for him. Luke Voigt went 0 for 4 at first base. Victor Caratini walked 3 times, went 0 for 1. Owen Miller, 1 for 3. Big double there early on in this game. Helped set the table for some early offense for the Brewers. And Joey Wiemer went 1 for 4. Another great catch, laid out, made a nice catch out in center field. Joey Wiemer continues to bring that A++. They were talking on the broadcast even tonight. They didn't expect Wiemer's defense to be as strong as it is. And he's making plays. He's going up against the fence, making when he's in right field, center field, you name it. Joey Wiemer's just been outstanding defensively. You know, we want to know him up here for his bat, but a guy who can play all 3 positions if you need it and giving you A++ defense out there. Just got to get the bat going a little bit. All right, let's get the Jose Suarez coming up on Sunday, and that 10 ERA coming off giving up 5 home runs the other way, and sweep the Angels. Last Sunday at home, Brewers did not win. They lost to the Red Sox. Or the Red Sox put up 9 runs. Going to take the shuttle down to the game and walk around beautiful AmFam Field. I always have to I still have to hesitate because I'm thinking Miller Park. I mean, we've been calling it Miller Park. It'll forever be Miller Park to some of us, right? Because we've been calling it for over 20 years, Miller Park. You know, I'm just, not about changing names of ballparks every other day, but I know that's the corporate world that we live in today about AmFam Field. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen to every day. Great to have you along. This was a shorter version. Saturdays and Sunday mornings, we do shorter versions, and we drop them late at night the night before, and hopefully you have a chance to squeeze it in before the game. We'll talk to you after the game tomorrow when the Brewers take the Angels and hopefully extend that winning streak to 4. And the Brewers head out to Colorado next week. All that and more coming up tomorrow on the podcast. I'm Chuck Freeman. Thanks for making Locked On Brewers your first listen to every day. Locked On Brewers on the Locked On Podcast Network.